Welcome back, everybody. My name is Cody Herman, and today is not a Buoy 10 update, but starting tomorrow, it will be. It's been a year. Man, we're back. Buoy 10 Astoria, the Super Bowl of salmon fishing, is about ready to kick off here tomorrow, and I'm going to give you guys a quick little forecast update, kind of my plans for what I'm going to be doing here this year, and how I'm going to try and simplify. Yeah, good luck. I have a very bad habit of overthinking everything. In fact, and I'll show you already. Hi there. I am already working on all of my spinners and lures for the season, and I'm already overthinking everything. Different colors, everything else, but we're going to get to that in just a second. So let's start with the basics. What to expect for this year. Actually, let me back up a little bit. This whole purpose of doing these Buoy 10 updates is try and help you guys learn, be educated, be safe out there on the water, because this is considered a very, very dangerous bar, a very dangerous fishery. So a lot of sandbars, everything else, please be careful. And that is the purpose of this update platform, is to try and help you guys be safe and find success. So they have, let's see, we got, I think we're in almost year 11 now of doing this, if not year 10, year 11. So each one of those, there's 30 days, so there's at least 300 videos from past seasons about how to be successful out there, about each and every single tide set that you could ever imagine. We have done 3 or 4 full-length episodes through Day One Outdoors TV. We have probably 15-20 tech tips up on our YouTube page with how to make bumpers, how to make spinners, how to be safe. We broke down the entire fishing area, where the sandbars are, where to cross, how to cross, where to fish during what part of the tides. It all exists between those full-length features, breakdowns, how-tos, and of course these Buoy 10 updates for the last decade. Everything that you need to know exists already on our YouTube channel. It's all there. All you have to do is do the research. You just got to find it. All of our titles say exactly what's in each video. So if you guys have a question, you want to learn something, I guarantee you it's been done, it's been covered. So this year, what I want to do is try and focus in on what is happening specifically this season, because every single year I learn something new and something else comes to the forefront. And like in years past, it's been a certain color, a certain setup. A few years ago, we started learning about 360 flashers. I started to learn how to follow water temperature as opposed to watercolor or tides as much. I would only look at my water temp. So there's a lot of little things that I learn each and every year, and that's what I'm going to try and focus in on this year. But if you guys do have questions, of course, shoot them over. I'll try to get to them. I'll try to answer them. But I promise you, it's been done. It's there. Okay, now let's talk about this year, what to expect, and how the season's going to be. Well, I have no idea. I've already been asked in the last month or so, hey, how's this year going to be? I don't know. No idea. We're going to show up, we're going to go fishing, and have our fingers crossed that the fish want to play ball. The forecast right now is there's about 500,000 Chinook and 200,000 coho, 250,000. So getting close to 1 million salmon coming back through the mouth of the Columbia River, all within about a 2-month period of time. That's a lot of fish. That's plenty of fish for everybody to catch at least a couple, right? However, we're kind of noticing something out in the ocean this year. There are a lot of coho. A lot of them, and they're good grade too. Like, they're already getting pretty big, which is early. Usually in July, there are a lot of 4 or 5 pounders. We're already seeing 6, 8s, 10s. So we might see some big fish. We've seen a lot of pictures of big kings up north. Our kings here in the ocean haven't really shown up all that much yet, which makes me a little worried for this first week of August. But what I'm getting at is that this coho run that we're having, the last time we had 1 million coho return to the Columbia River, the forecast, I can't remember the exact number, but I'm pretty sure it was under 500,000. It might have been closer to around 200,000. So coho are tough to forecast, and what we're seeing out there, there's a lot up and down the coast, and they're already good grade, they're healthy. It's cool to see. So fingers crossed that, of course, we get our 500,000 Chinook, but maybe, just maybe, they came in way under on the forecast for coho. So we'll see. I'm going to be looking at my cheat sheet over here. I got to make sure I cover everything. Let's see. So we're going to forecast. What are we seeing now? Yeah, coho's good in the ocean. Let's see. Chinook are around. But honestly, the weather, that's my next note here. The weather is a little bit funky this summer. It's been a little all over the place. A lot of south wind, the north wind. It's been kind of mixing up the ocean. And guys that are finding the coho, like, we kind of all bounce around. And then when one guy finds them, we all just kind of congregate and everybody catches a bunch of fish. So the fish are getting blown around each and every day, but when you find them, it's pretty fast and furious. But you could be in an absolute desert if you land in the wrong spot. Like there's just nothing there. So the key is to just keep moving around until you find them, and I promise you, when you find them, you're going to catch them. So if you sit in a spot, I did this yesterday, we were out there in the ocean and we trolled for like 10, 15 minutes without a bite. It's like, now we got to move. Now it should be happening all the time. It should be constant fish biting and getting to the boat. So just keep sticking and moving. Scatter bait and fish, but they are there. In the river, so this is actually the cool part. So we haven't been able to fish the river because it doesn't open up till August 1st, right? The cool part is that in the river, what we've been seeing is we're already seeing coho jumping inside of Buoy 10. And from about the tips of the jetty until, let's see, yesterday it was probably almost up to Hammond because it was incoming tide. There was bait, and I mean walls of bait on the bottom coming in the estuary. Like so much bait that it kind of reminds me of the years that we had all those whales coming in and out because there's just so much food in the estuary. So that could also be the reason why the coho are so close in already, because they're inside the CR. A lot of them are already. We got a big tide set coming up here towards the end of this weekend, so there could be a really nice, good early push of coho inside the river, inside of Buoy 10 on those high tides already, because all the bait's here, so the fish are here. So that's really cool to see. I'm a little bit worried about the opener because the tides are okay. They're not great. They're rising tides, which typically bring in coho, but it rained quite a bit here for a couple days here yesterday and day before. It rained quite a bit, and usually what happens when it rains down here is that the estuary just drains of fish. It just disappears, and that's never good. So between not the best tide and a lot of rain, boy, it could be a pretty tough opener. However, I was out there today working on the boat a little bit and just kind of putting around. It was the first part of the income, and I was not in the right part of the river. I was just hanging out by the bridge, but I did see fish that I'm 90% sure are salmon, and quite a few of them on my graph. So there's always fish in the estuary. They're always there. They're always present. But how many of them, who knows? The best part is that these fish haven't seen a bait or lure yet. So the first day, there's usually a pretty decent bite just because it's fish that have been untouched. So if you do go out there tomorrow and want to fish in the river, you should be able to find a few biters. It may not be as good as openers in years past because of the rain and the tides, but we'll see. Let's see, what else do I got here? August 1st plan, kind of mentioned that. It is an outgoing tide for probably the first couple hours and then incoming tide after that. So what I'd probably do if I were to fish inside the river, I'm going out in the ocean tomorrow if I can. We'll see with that northwest wind. If I were to fish in the river, then I would probably start low around Chinook, around Hammond, fish down towards Checker, then on out to 10. And again, like I mentioned, with the amount of bait that we saw there in that part of the estuary and all the coho that are just outside, I'd probably just sit right there at Buoy 10 on the income, wait for that current seam to come through and see if you can find some coho and maybe a Chinook or two. I mean, I'm telling you, we've been calling it planet Earth out there. All the birds, all the fish, all the bait. It's pretty crazy. So on those bigger tides, especially as we get through the weekend, they should be bringing in some coho because they are right there, and those bigger tides should flush them inside of Buoy 10, in theory. Again, this is all a guessing game till the season opens up here tomorrow. Let's see. Talked about that. My plan for this season, I am going to try very, very hard to simplify my riggings, my setups, and just be more methodical, more precise. I love to try and find new techniques, new ways to catch fish, and it's to my own detriment. There are a lot of times where I know what works, but I'll put something else on to try and outthink the room, so to speak. And that's not always the best way to go. So what I'm trying to do is, and also try and share with you guys, how to not get in over your head and just show up. So I actually set up a couple of lures right here. You can't see because the way my camera's looked. But if you were to go out there this season and just run only 2 colors of spinners all season long, you would catch fish. If you ran 2 colors all season, a Bronco or a Mexican hat, if you ran just these 2 all season long, you would catch plenty of fish. You'd be fine. These are great. It's Mulkeys 3.5s. The luck, even cool. They got paint on the back too. So they'll work on cloudy days, they'll work on sunny days. If you got a copper one, a gold one, you're good. You're set. So If you had just 2 colors, simplify, you're fine. As far as spin fish goes, if you're going out in the ocean, a silver one or a Misty River color. That's it. Size 2.5. In fact, this year for my spinning fish, I'm going to try and run just 2.5s. I really like how they fish. There are days where they for sure want a bigger presentation, 3.0s, but I'm going to try and fish mainly just 2.5s just for simplifying my boat so it's not so cluttered. When you get into the river on the spinning fish, anything with blue and chartreuse is the move for sure. A little bit of blue, a little bit of chartreuse. This one here has some orange on it too. This has been my best one for probably the last 4 or 5 seasons. This guy here is cool because he's just new, and fishermen were suckers for new stuff anyways. And it's got a lot of blue, a lot of chartreuse, essentially double trouble with silver scale. It's going to work. So, simplify. That is my plan for this year, but yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Good luck. I've been fishing like this my entire life, and my buddies know this about me. As soon as I catch a fish on something, I usually take it off and try and put something else on just to see what else I can catch fish on. Whatever. I have fun doing it. That's part of the fun, is learning and catching fish on all your toys, right? Gotta have fun with your toys. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mentioned too earlier in the video, is that I always learn something every year, and this year will be no different. And I'll be sure to, of course, share my experiences throughout the entire season. We got 30 of these updates to come. It looks like it's going to be hatchery only throughout the entire season, which is actually kind of good. Because we shouldn't have those closures like we did last year, where it's closed for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it was. And that was frustrating to say the least. So hopefully by keeping it just hatchery only, we don't need to worry about any closures, and it stays open all the way through Labor Day weekend, where it does go to non-marked select. We can keep any for, 2, 3, 4 days, whatever it is. Hopefully there's no changes, no adjustments, except for maybe more openings because there's so many fish coming back. But we will keep you updated every single day. Welcome back, everybody, and Buoy 10, let's go. See you guys tomorrow.